In Plato's Symposium, we come now to the speech of Pausanias, and I've been just glancing ahead at, not Agathon, at Aristophanes' speech and what he says about Pausanias. This is so hilarious. Pausanias, I've already said this, I think, in a video that probably aired on the Great Text List some time ago, so I'll just say this now. Pausanias is super gay, and it appears that he wants to get with Agathon. So the context of Plato's Symposium, well, let's clear up three things first. First, I'm reading from the Complete Works of Plato published by Hackett, and the same Hackett edition of the Symposium is available in a much smaller and cheaper book if that serves your purposes, and there's probably a decent public domain translation or two on the internet, etc. Next, this is a story told to us by Apollodorus, our narrator, but Apollodorus was not there to witness the events firsthand. He got the account from Aristodemus. We're getting Aristodemus' version told to us by Apollodorus, who got it from Aristodemus himself. And the occasion is they're giving speeches in praise of love. This is at Agathon's place. Agathon is a writer of tragic plays, and they're celebrating the performance of his first tragic play, and there's a lot of alcohol, and they're giving speeches in praise of love at this party. And part of the context, when you're in ancient Athens and you're talking about eros being a word for love, with some connotations of sexual love, we're talking about, to some extent, in context, Athenian homosexuality. And the relationship they talk about is the one where an older person takes on a mentor role to a younger person, and also is that person's lover. An older man takes on a younger man as his mentee and mentors him, but also is his lover and receives some sexual favors for his in return for his mentorship. This is the custom. I hope I'm describing it adequately. Pausanias is really into this custom. Pausanias began saying to Phaedrus, "I'm not quite sure our subject has been well defined. Our charge has been simple, to speak in praise of love. That would have been fine if love himself were simple too, but as a matter of fact, there are two kinds of love. In view of this, it might be better to begin by making clear which kind of love we are to praise. Let me therefore try to put our discussion back on the right track and explain which kind of love ought to be praised. Then I shall give him the praise he deserves as the god he is." So there are two kinds of love for two kinds of things. Love has an object. I think this is the first time, the first speech where we have a clear distinction between love and what it loves. This will become terribly important later, but right now it's just a vague, an imperfect, I'm not sure what words to use, let's go with imperfect, an imperfect observation on the fact that there's a distinction between love and what love itself does, what love itself loves. An important distinction. We have to understand that love and what love loves, or desire and what desire wants, are not the same thing, and it's really important which is which, and why love loves what it loves, or why desire wants what desire is for. Desire is always for something. All right. Pausanias says there's two kinds of love, and it's a well-known fact that love and Aphrodite are inseparable. If therefore Aphrodite were a single goddess, there could also be a single love. But there are actually two goddesses of that name, and therefore two kinds of love. So love is not one god. Love is two gods. One for one version of the goddess Aphrodite, or one of the goddesses whom we call Aphrodite, and the other for the other goddess Aphrodite. Now, who are these Aphrodites, and what are these two kinds of love? Well, the two kinds of love are, one, the love that loves one Aphrodite, and the other, the one that loves the other Aphrodite. What are these Aphrodites? There is heavenly Aphrodite, and there is common Aphrodite. One is an older deity, the motherless daughter of Uranos, the god of heaven. She is known as Urania, or heavenly Aphrodite. The other goddess is younger, the daughter of Zeus and Dione. Her name is Pandemos, or common Aphrodite. So there is a common love that loves common Aphrodite, and a heavenly love that loves heavenly Aphrodite. And we have to keep these gods distinct, says Pausanias. Now, the common Aphrodite's love is himself truly common. As such, he strikes wherever he gets a chance. This, of course, is the love felt by the vulgar, who are attached to women no less than to boys, to the body more than to the soul, and to the least intelligent partners, since all they care about is completing the sexual act. Whether they do it honorably or not is of no concern. So there's so much to talk about, and so much subtlety, and Pausanias is combining so much insight with so much, I think, absurdity. At least that's how I read him. Plus, I just find the context super hilarious. All right. Pausanias is saying good love, better love, heavenly love, loves Aphrodite. This would be the goddess of beauty here. Heavenly love loves heavenly Aphrodite, the heavenly goddess of beauty. And then there's an earthly goddess of beauty, common goddess of beauty, common Aphrodite, who is loved by common love. And this love is bodily. The heavenly Aphrodite is more spiritual. Common Aphrodite is more physical, earthly. And common love loves earthly, physical beauty. And this is the kind of love that's just interested in sex. It only cares about completing the sexual act. And we don't really care about if this is our style. We don't care about what comes our way, whether it's good or bad. That's not the point. The point is just to complete the sexual act. The love who moves people like this belongs to a much younger goddess who through her parentage partakes of the nature both of the female and the male. So people who are interested in sex only, this is common Aphrodite, but also men. This is the Symposium. This is a male context. Everyone in the room is male. There's no women in this conversation. A woman speaks later in a flashback from Socrates' speech, but no one speaking in this conversation is female. And a lot of these guys are gay. And Pausanias says the men who love women, that's common Aphrodite, not heavenly Aphrodite. Now contrast this, he says. Contrast this with the love of heavenly Aphrodite. This goddess, whose descent is purely male, hence this love is for boys, is considerably older and therefore free from the lewdness of youth. That's why those who are inspired by her love are attracted to the male. They find pleasure in what is by nature stronger and more intelligent, but even within the group that is attracted to handsome boys. Some are not moved purely by this heavenly love. Those who are do not fall in love with little boys. They prefer older ones whose cheeks are showing the first traces of a beard, a sign that they have begun to form minds of their own. So if you're wondering how young can this Athenian homosexuality custom go, is it older man forming a mentor-mentee that's also a lover, beloved, active sexual partner, passive sexual partner relationship with the young man? Does the young man get to be, how young exactly? Does the young man get to be 18, 16, 14, 12? How low down, how young do you go in this context? And here's it from Pausanias. Common Aphrodite doesn't just include guys who like girls, but it also includes guys who like boys who are too young, younger than they should like them. And heavenly Aphrodite is more interested in boys who are old enough to have the first traces of a beard. So, heavenly Aphrodite is purely man-boy love, or man-man love. Common Aphrodite can be either way. And common Aphrodite is interested in sex only, and or common love for common Aphrodite is only interested in sex, and the physical heavenly love for heavenly Aphrodite is interested in something else. What else? Let's just cut this short. Virtue above all. And here is what I think is maybe the great insight of Pausanias. First, the distinction between love and what it loves. You can't understand love without understanding the Aphrodite that love loves, the goddess of beauty. We'll have this in a more sober analysis later from Socrates' speech, distinguishing between love and the beauty that love loves. And in the Pausanias speech, we at least have the distinction between love and what love loves. But I think the most important insight in Pausanias is going to be that he says love serves virtue. Virtue doesn't serve love, like Phaedrus had said in his speech. Love serves virtue, not the other way around, because what love loves matters a great deal, and the better kind of love is the love that admires the spirit, not just the body, and the virtue of the person loved. And I'll allow myself to read just a bit more. In my opinion, however, the fact of the matter is this. As I said earlier, love is, like everything else, complex. Considered simply in itself, it is neither honorable nor a disgrace. Its character depends entirely on the behavior it gives rise to. Love can be good or bad, depending on what sort of behavior it leads to. And then he talks about love for people of bad character, and love for people of good character, and love for people of good character is better, etc., etc. And he praises Athenian homosexuality customs. He says, "We can now see the point of our customs. They are designed to separate the wheat from the chaff, the proper love from the vile. That's why we do everything we can to make it as easy as possible for lovers to press their suits, and as difficult as possible for young men to comply. It is like a competition, a kind of test to determine to which sort each belongs." So Athenian homosexuality customs do have this kind of man-boy or man-young man, lover-loved, active sexual partner, passive sexual partner, mentor-mentee relationship. But the customs do make it easier for the older mentor, active love partner, the superior partner in this relationship, to pursue a relationship with the younger, passive person. But the Athenian sexuality customs also make it very easy for that person to resist, and this is meant to be a process for sorting out the good from the bad and making sure that that we only pursue relationships with people who are virtuous. Okay, so enough of this. Next would be Aristophanes, but Aristophanes had such a bad case of the hiccups, he'd probably stuffed himself again, though of course it could have been anything, that making a speech was totally out of the question. So Aristophanes is supposed to go next. He doesn't, because of too much hiccups. But I think maybe what's really going on is just that Aristophanes, a writer of comedies, who realizes how hilarious Pausanias is, and how Pausanias is sort of trying to get with Agathon. He's trying to emphasize what a wise and virtuous lover he would be, so that the young man Agathon will be interested in taking him on as his mentor and gay lover. Aristophanes finds this hilarious, as do I, and that's why he can't give a speech. So Eric, Symmachus the doctor, Eric has to speak first, and Eric gives Aristophanes some advice on how to deal with hiccups. But then the speech of Eric comes next, and I'll shut up now, and presumably we'll get to the speech of Eric in praise of love next time. Thanks for watching.